We have a brilliant orator, although he's very young. He's just 9 years old. He recently won the sub junior section of National Public Speaking Championship in India, NPSC 2025. That is Mohammad Ihan for you. Over to you, Mohammad.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our Gaveliers, counselors, parents, and Toastmasters joining us from across the globe. A very special welcome to our 2025 champion, Gavelier Claire Xiao, and our 2024 champion, Gavelier Anjana Arvind. Welcome to this GYGC educational session. My name is Mohammad Ihan NC from Calicut, Kerala. I am a fourth grader at the Oxford School, Calicut. I was the champion of National Speaking Championship and first runner-up in state level Wushu Championship. I have the honor of serving as your Sergeant at Arms for today's program. It is truly a pleasure to be with you. Our session today is titled Talk Like a Champion, an inspiring interaction between our global youth champions of public speaking, Gavelier Claire Xiao, 2025, and Gavelier Anjana Arvind, 2024. I request everyone to use microphones and switch them on only when you are required to speak. Please wear appropriate attire and follow all online meeting rules when you are in front of the camera. Before we begin, it is my privilege to introduce our global chairman, distinguished Toastmaster Srigumappa. DTM Srigumappa is an assistant professor at ASADI, the Asian School of Architecture and Design in MG University, Kerala, with more than 3 decades of commitment to education and communication and over 21 years of active leadership in Toastmasters International. He has served with distinction, including as Club Growth Director, where he was recognized as West Division Governor and honored with the Excellence in Club Growth Award. A passionate mentor and visionary leader, he has sponsored 17 new Toastmasters clubs and 55 Gavel clubs, empowering countless young minds. As the global chairman of GYGC, he continues to inspire youth worldwide through initiatives such as the Global and National Junior Championships. His contributions have also been recognized internationally, including by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of Oman, for outstanding service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our global chairman, distinguished Toastmaster Srigumappa.
Thank you, Najeta Muhammad Ihan, for that wonderful introduction. Gavelier Muhammad Ihan is the 2025 National Champion of Public Speaking. Please give me a big round of applause. Respected counselors, Gaveliers, Toastmasters, and friends, a very warm welcome to this GYGC education session. GYGC, the Global Youth Gavel Clubs It's an international network of Gavel counselors. May I request everyone to switch off your mic, please? The Global Youth Gavel Club is an international network of Gavel Club counselors with over 200 clubs worldwide, spanning from the USA to Australia. Organized into 12 groups led by dedicated leaders, we work collectively to nurture young voice, conduct contests, and proudly host the Global Youth Championship of Public Speaking every year. As part of our mission to educate, inspire, and empower, GYGC regularly hosts global experts for sessions on diverse and meaningful topics. Today's session, Talk Like a Champion, features an inspiring interaction between our global youth champions of public speaking, Gavelier Claire Xiao and Gavelier Anjana Arvind champions. They will be sharing their journeys, their experience as global champions, and valuable public speaking tips for our future contestants. I am sure that you're all going to enjoy and benefit greatly from this session. On behalf of GYGC, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Gavelier Claire Xiao and Gavelier Anjana Arvind for accepting our invitation and for being with us today. Friends, let us seize this opportunity to learn, grow, and be inspired. Now it is my privilege to introduce and invite Distinguished Toastmaster Manju K. Manohar, Global Group G Chairperson, a multi-award winning author, coach, TEDx speakers coach, and Amazon best-selling author, to formally introduce our speakers. Please join me in welcoming Distinguished Toastmaster Manju K. Manohar. Over to you, DTM Manju Manohar.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sri Kumar Pai. Today is indeed an unforgettable day for us because today we are seeing the confluence of two young orators who have been holding the title of World Champions of Public Speaking from the Global Youth Championship. Isn't that wonderful? Not one, but two champions. In India, they call it as double dhamaka, or it's in US or other countries, you may call it as 1+1 offer. So today, it's my privilege to introduce these champions. I've had the privilege of interacting with one of them. I think for her World Championship, I was the contest chair. And later, I had the unique privilege of interviewing her, Anjana. And I'm very delighted to announce that she is a homeschooled 17-year-old. Yes, you heard it right. Homeschooled 17-year-old, extremely interested in public speaking, debate, and theater. Public speaking, debate, and theater. She is also the founder and president of a Gavel Club. Now, what I found interesting is both of these world champions are presidents of Gavel clubs in the US, but the names of the Gavel clubs are also very similar. So let me read out the name of Anjana's club, Future Gavel Club, president of Lead the Future Gavel Club, and she holds the title of 2024 Global Youth Champion of Public Speaking. Please give her a big round of applause. You can also show your appreciation for her by putting in the heart sign or maybe the clap sign like all of you are doing. Fantastic. She is driven by a vision to empower today's youth. She wishes to help the youth of today, who are the future leaders of this world, to become more confident and articulate public speakers. So that is Gavelier Anjana Arvind for you. I I request all others to please go on mute because we are hearing some background noise from someone's house. Next, I have the privilege of introducing Gavelier Claire. Gavelier Claire is the founder of Future Leaders Gavel Club. The other one was Lead the Future Gavel Club. This is Future Leaders Gavel Club. That's why I said all the world champions have something in common. And she is the president of this club, Future Leaders Gavel Club. She is not the 2025 World Champion, Global Youth Championship, but also the North American Champion of Evaluation Speech. And not just that, she's also the North American runner-up in the table topic speech contest. Please give a big round of applause. You can show your appreciation for Claire through heart signs, emojis like claps, thumbs up sign, etc. Claire, we are really excited to have you also here with us today. And Claire is known for her passion towards social work. Especially, she's the founder of a non-profit organization called Courage Canvas. Yes, you heard it right. Courage Canvas, which is a non-profit organization. And through this non-profit organization, she aims to empower the youth worldwide through health awareness, communication, and also artistic expression. She is she's currently based out of United States, and she has always been an active Toastmaster. Right now, she's a freshman. So let's welcome Claire and Anjana onto the virtual stage with a big round of emojis. Welcome, Claire. Welcome, Anjana. It's a privilege to listen to you both today. Over to you.
Anjana and Claire, the stage is yours. You can proceed.
All others, I think we can switch off our videos so that Claire will have more bandwidth to speak.
Sorry, our team is full now. Meeting room is full. Thanks for the wonderful response. Anjana and Claire, please proceed.
Thank you, DTM Srikumar Pai sir, and thank you, DTM Manju. So I'll start us off here. So hi, Claire. Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here. Claire, so what was the most memorable moment of your public speaking journey?
Thank you so much, Anjana, for your question. And likewise, it is very wonderful to be here as well and share our advice with you all. I think the most memorable moment of my own public speaking journey was not actually, as you would expect, the final Global Youth Public Speaking Championship, but I would say it was rather, I think, the first contest that I actually participated in my own Toastmasters Youth Gavel Club. And I believe that was my Future Leaders Gavel Club speech evaluation contest. And I just remember before that contest, I did not know much about Toastmasters. I was relatively a new member. And I just reminded myself that Toastmasters was a very non-judgmental, very friendly and opening and welcome community. But I do remember stressing a little bit just because it was my first contest and I actually did not prepare for it until the day of the actual contest. So when I actually participated in it, I just remember having a lot of nerves, but I encouraged myself and I stuck through the whole contest and gave it my best shot. And surprisingly, I did not expect this at all because I know my Youth Gavel Club especially has a lot of very talented speakers, but I actually won that contest, which allowed me to move on to the next USA or North America speech evaluation contest. So I think that moment was just so memorable for me because First of all, it was my very first Toastmasters competition, but also it definitely opened up new doors and kind of opened my mind up to all the special things about Toastmasters, all the friends and memories you can make along the way. Yeah, that would be my answer.
That's amazing. I love that that was your memory. I think a lot of times we get as the most memorable, it kind of for us, we think that it would be winning big titles, but I think your story is a testament that it's not really about that, but it's about enjoying the little things, right? So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anjana. And next, I will ask Anjana herself a question. And the question is, what inspired you to begin your journey in public speaking?
Thank you, Claire. I started my public speaking journey when I was 3 years old. Ever since I remember, I loved getting up on the stage. I love speaking. It was my favorite thing ever, just being on the stage, getting to share my voice. And I really immersed myself in different like performance arts. So like you all may know through my bio, it's not just public speaking, but debate and theater, but I loved getting up on the stage. So when I was in the fourth grade in elementary school, I won my school's Martin Luther King oratorical contest. And I advocated against cyberbullying in that speech. And that's when it really sunk in that public speaking isn't purely about just speaking in front of people, but rather it's a catalyst to make an impact, to create change and share your voice. So once that realization set in, I knew that this was something which, immediately I was hooked, I was passionate about it, and I continue to practice and hone my public speaking skills to, improve myself as an orator.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anjana. That is definitely a very powerful message.
Thank you. All right, Claire. Both of us are Gaveliers, right? Along with many, many Gaveliers here in the room today. So why are Gavel clubs important for youth?
Yes, thank you for the question. So I love this question because gavel clubs give us youth something that most schools don't. And that is a place where your voice is treated as a skill, not just a personality trait or something you had to grow up with. So actually, when I was younger, I was actually a very, very shy student, and it was difficult for me to speak up, whether that was during class, during meetings, or even day-to-day conversations with friends. And some of you speakers here, maybe you starting out from a young age were already very extroverted or loved speaking to others. But some of you may also have been like me. Maybe you were shy or you were a little bit hesitant or afraid to speak. And a lot of times for those youth, it's very hard to find a place or an environment where you can cultivate those public speaking skills and nurture yourself as not only a student, but a confident orator and even a future leader in the bigger world. So by joining a Gavel Club, especially from my personal experience, I've noticed the fact that Toastmasters Gavel Clubs, they're so structured. Every meeting, you start off with your speeches, then your table topics, and you have those speech evaluations. It's such a great way for you to practice consistently your public speaking skills and drill those specific things that you're struggling with. And not only that, Gavel Clubs also have some yearly contests, so that provides a lot of extra opportunities, especially if you don't have those in your school or your outside activities. So definitely, I think not only do they teach you how to speak, but they nurture your ability to be confident and also believe in yourself as a person.
That's amazing. Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then next, I will ask Anjana because she has done so many amazing things. I'm sure everyone wants to know, how has Toastmasters changed your life?
That's a wonderful question. I think it's really impacted my life in many ways. Uh, Firstly, I think Toastmasters is really incredible because it gives a platform for youth to practice communication and leadership skills through Toastmasters or through Gavel Club. I have really improved my communication and leadership skills, and every meeting provides new opportunities for you to work at it and practice and grow as a speaker, which I think is really, really incredible. I also want to touch on in every meeting, you have people of different backgrounds and different experiences. But what Gavel clubs do is it gives a safe space where everyone can speak up, find their voice, and share their voice. And I'm really glad that through Gavel clubs, I got to advocate on what was most important to me and continue to share my voice and also grow as a speaker in a very non-judgmental, warm and positive environment, because that has a lot of influence on how you grow as a public speaker. And Gavel clubs are a very encouraging environment, which I'm very, very grateful for. I also love that there is this advocacy aspect to it, especially when it comes to the international speech contest, not just in my speech, but hearing speeches around the world advocating what's most important to them and being passionate about what's most important to them. I think it's truly incredible. Everyone's advocating my speech, and I find it really impactful getting to reach people across the globe. So additional to that, I would like to say that it's not just my public speaking dream, but I do believe in paying it forward. So co-founding the Future Gavel Club was an incredibly rewarding experience, and it was very impactful. And public speaking not only gave me a platform to thrive, but a platform for others to do well, to do so as well. And I remember at Lead the Future Gavel Club, there was a kid and there was a Gavelier, and he went up and gave a speech for the first time, and his mom was crying tears of joy. So public speaking is something which is just so incredibly impactful. I'm so grateful for, the Global Gavel Youth Organization, because it's truly impacted my life. But just know that public speaking not only gave me a platform to thrive and to excel and to become a better orator, but through Gavel Clubs, it has allowed for a platform for others to do so as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Anjana, for such a powerful response. I definitely agree. I think growth is such a big aspect of public speaking, and thank you so much for sharing your experiences with that.
Of course. Thank you, Claire. All right. I know that everyone here, we've all given speeches, and I also know that sometimes we may have a favorite. So, Claire, what was your favorite speech you've ever given and why?
Yes, thank you, Anjana. So for this one, I would have to choose the speech that I had given for the Gavel Club Championship of Public Speaking, and that would be the one called Heads or Tails. And obviously, I could say that it was the speech that helped me win that contest, but I do have a couple of reasons why that was my favorite speech. First of all, I think it was definitely because of the message that I gave in the speech. It dealt with a lot of personal experiences that I had at that time. And if you have never watched that speech, basically, I essentially talked about that our experiences are kind of like a coin. So like heads or tails, a flip and think that things are random or that our life experiences are all based on external factors, or sometimes we just want to blame easy targets that are not coming from our internal selves. But rather, I realized that a lot of our negative experiences and life outcomes are because of our own internal thoughts and how we perceive our own experiences. And that resonated a lot with my personal experiences, because I believe I talked about a quite deep personal story in that speech. Since I'm a hospital volunteer, there was this boy who I had met, in one of the patient rooms, and he was very, very sweet. And I kind of just talked to him about his life and his experiences. And I just noticed how positive he was, even though our lives were so drastic. Somehow I was a lot of the times more negative than him, even though he was in what would be considered a worse situation. So that just kind of taught me that a lot of the times it's the way that we make our own choices in life, that we can determine how we think about experiences and that we can choose for ourselves. So it's kind of that reminder, and it just really resonated with me, which is why I enjoyed saying that speech so much. And a second reason is just because I think I learned a lot throughout the process. It's really easy to kind of think that accomplished speakers will have had everything figured out, or they were just born that way, or they were always such accomplished speakers. But in reality, I spent a lot of time kind of changing my topic at the start and figuring out what really did I want to say with my message, what kind of metaphor, what props did I want to use. So behind that, I think the process was something I really, really enjoyed. And it's a reminder to you all that in your own public speaking journeys, don't only think about the outcome or the trophy in the end, but you have to enjoy the process of thinking about how to write a speech or preparing for that speech and how you want to say it.
Thank you, Claire. That was a beautiful response. I had the privilege of watching you live in that contest, and it was really, truly inspiring. And I'm so glad that your message got to reach some more youth here. So it's really wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much, Anjana. And my next question is because I know everyone here has experienced it before. If you have ever been nervous before any public speaking event, even if it was meeting someone new or if it was speaking in front of a crowd, I know all of you have been nervous before and maybe have struggled to think about, how do I get rid of this nervousness, or how can I change it? And so my next question for Anjana is, how do you handle nervousness before speaking?
I think that's a great question. And let me tell you a secret, not really a secret, but there's never not been a time where I've not been nervous before speaking. I've always been nervous before speaking because it's a natural part about speaking. Public speaking can be very intimidating at times. I mean, come on, you're giving a speech in front of so many people. But even before coming to this, I'll tell you, I was a little bit nervous, but something which I like to do to take care of handle my nervousness is, rather than viewing nervousness as a negative thing, I like to shift my mindset. So I like to look at it as something which can be positive, and I try to channel it to enhance my performances. Personally, for me, I feel like when I'm nervous, I perform a little bit better. That's just, I guess, what works for me. But really shifting my mindset and knowing that nervousness is not all that bad and nervousness can be a good thing, I think that's really helped me kind of divert my nervousness in a positive way and channelize it positively. Additionally, I like to view nervousness as a sign as I care about what I'm presenting. So when I go into a contest and I'm feeling a bit nervous, it kind of sits with me that, yeah, I care about this contest, and nervousness is a natural feeling that'll, come with it. Or even if you're speaking in front of people, yeah, I'm nervous, and that's okay. And I'm going to view it positively and it's going to be fine. So just, I guess, redirecting really seems to help for me and viewing it as a positive thing. So yeah, thank you. Right. And all right, Claire. Now we have a lot of youth here, and I've been doing chats as well. And I think they would really love some advice. So Claire, if you could give one piece of advice to help youth to improve their communication skills, what would it be?
Thank you for the question. My number one piece of advice for you all to improve your public speaking skills would be to practice. Practice is so, so important. Just like Anjana said, there has never been a moment when I have not felt nervous before a speech. But if you consistently practice, you can help to maybe alleviate that nervousness a little bit, or just overall improve your confidence as a public speaker. So I'll give you some examples. For the very first speech I did, because I do speech and debate outside of Toastmasters, this was my very first speech tournament, and I was very, very nervous. I did not know how anything really went, and I kind of just went in there and gave my speech, and that was probably the most nervous I've ever been, was my first speech. But from then on out, I got some feedback, I improved my own speech, and I got a better sense of how public speaking is and how I can be a better public speaker myself. And from then on out, practicing and practicing and practicing, because at least for myself, there are multiple speech tournaments throughout the year. So I got so many chances to practice the same speech, update that speech, and that really, really allowed me to practice my delivery, practice how my speech was written. How was I connecting with the audience? Was it the intended effect that I wished for? And from that practice, not only did it help me win future speech tournaments, it also made me a much more confident communicator in general. I noticed that, especially in classroom or meeting settings, I was a lot more confident to speak in front of a crowd, to lead a presentation, to lead a group, or work with a larger group in general. And likewise, with you youth here today, I assure you that don't only practice if it's for a speech contest or something similar. Always try to find a way to practice in your day-to-day life. So if that's talking to a new stranger that you want to be friends with, maybe it's talking to a teacher that you were scared to talk to before, always find those opportunities to practice those skills, because I promise you, it's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the easier it gets and the better of a communicator you become.
Thank you,
Okay.
Claire. That was wonderful. I also completely agree with her. Practice goes a long, long way. So thank you for reinforcing that.
Thank you, Anjana. And next, I'm sure all of you youth here have had a moment where you really maybe excelled at a speech you were giving, or you were really proud of yourself. And Anjana herself, I'm sure, has accomplished so many amazing things as the talented speaker she is herself. And so I want to ask the question, what is your proudest moment as a Gavelier?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm trying to think back to all the things I did, but I I would say I have two things in particular which stand out to me. But first, winning the 2024 Global Championship of Public Speaking was incredibly meaningful to me. But not just that singular moment of winning, but rather, like you mentioned in, I think, one of your answers, I think the whole process of that was really incredible. So I remember for my club level contest, through the brainstorming process, I knew I wanted to share my story and share something which is important to me. So I shared a vulnerable story of mine, advocating against the violence against women. So in that moment, I felt comfortable enough, and Gavel Club gave this super comfortable environment where I could step up and share that story. So when I was preparing for the club level contest, right before the club level contest, I got incredibly sick. So what happened then was I was practicing at home, and at home I couldn't even say it once, whatever I memorized, perfectly to the T. I couldn't say it even once. I came down with a very bad cough. So every time I said the speech, I would, break out coughing, and I didn't even say it perfectly once at home. So I go to the club level contest, and miraculously all goes well. And that goes to say that not everybody's, speeches are perfect, but miraculously everything went well. And I felt very proud of being able to share my story. So I think just that beginning of perseverance really stood out to me, because I was in no shape to give that speech, but I still ended up doing it, and just passing every level was really incredible. But then on that final global platform, getting to reach so many people from across the world, beyond borders, with my story and my message was incredibly impactful, and I felt really honored to be given a platform to do that and continue my advocacy efforts. So definitely, I would say winning that 2024 Global Championship meant a lot to me because it was a testament to perseverance mainly, and that's what's testament to perseverance and also advocacy as well. So that really stood out to me. And secondly, co-founding Lead the Future Gavel Club with Toastmaster Miss Jill Peterson, it's such a rewarding experience. Gavel clubs have had a huge impact on my life, like I explained earlier, and getting that opportunity to give back to the community and getting to inspire, empower, and mentor the next generation of confident, competent, and empowered communicators and leaders. It's very, very rewarding. And I'm so grateful for being able to do that. Going into every meeting and getting to interact with so many kids, helping them with whatever you can, and just seeing them grow into the speakers they are today. It's really, really impactful and really incredible on my part because I had the most, I'm having the most wonderful experience being a Gavelier. So getting to give that experience to other people in my community. So the way it kind of worked out was Toastmaster Miss Jill Peterson was also looking to, start a Gavel club. And for me, just seeing that many youth in my community didn't have the right platform or tools to learn to practice to communicate confidently and not having that platform, and that's how it kind of came to fruition. And I'm really proud of it as a Gavelier. So I think what really summarizes my proudest moments is a moment for my personal growth through the Global Champion, but also giving an opportunity for others to grow personally as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjana, for such a powerful message. I'm definitely sure our youth here can learn from that and resonate that in their own public speaking journeys as well.
Thank you so much, Claire. All right, so I know there's that time before a contest or before, you're going up to speak. You have to write the speech, right? And that can be a little bit of sometimes an intimidating or daunting process because I know countless times I've tried to sit down and try to think about what is my next topic going to be? What am I going to write about, right? And sometimes that can be a tricky process, especially for people that are beginning to find the right message to share or find what exactly they want to share. So Claire, with your plethora of experience, how do you go about writing a speech and what's your thought process through that?
Yes, thank you, Anjana, for the question. So first of all, behind every successful public speaker who has given a speech, they have most likely have prepared. And especially for prepared speeches, behind that preparation is the tedious writing process. And what I would suggest, everyone has a different way to begin their writing journey. But in my personal experience, a personal story is a very, very key component of a speech. And especially in speech tournaments, that is what you can use to connect with the audience, how the audience can resonate with you and understand you and appreciate you as a speaker. So what I would suggest is before you even begin writing your speech or thinking about your topic, try to think of some personal stories. So what have you been struggling with recently? Have you been worrying about something? Is there an experience that has taught you something new, that has enabled you to learn something new about yourself, become a better communicator, a better friend? Any lesson that you have learned that has been impactful to you, consider that. And then next, after you've thought of your set of stories, what insight did it teach me? So what message can you take away from this? So for example, for my own speech, Heads or Tails, I thought of not only that hospital story, but there are a lot of stories in my life. So whether it was a flute audition or another speech competition or whatever the case, I noticed that I often could find some experiences negative in life because I would blame them on external factors instead of taking control myself and realizing that I had a choice to change things. And so all of these experiences came together, and then I thought, okay, after this, how can I relate this to the audience? So that's kind of where you're going to start thinking of those specific elements you're going to include in your speech. And every speech usually has a structure. So it depends on what kind of speech you're giving. For example, if you're giving a prepared speech, that's going to be very different with preparing for a table topic speech. But for, let's say, prepared speeches, you're going to think of the outline. So you're going to have the introduction. Do you want to start off with a funny moment, a humorous story, or what else? Maybe in the middle, you want to include your story. So all of that can change and vary with different speeches, and the outline is up to you, but consider how other successful speakers you admire have set up those speeches, and you can definitely learn from them. And then one of the other things that you definitely have to consider for a speech is what I like to call a call to action. So this is a message you want to take away, that you want your audience to take away from your speech. So what do you want your audience to learn after they hear your speech? What do you want them to do? So if you think about this, that can make your speech land better with your audience, and it can make you more memorable as a speaker. And then finally, I would just suggest that if you're especially preparing for a speech contest, there will usually be some kind of judging ballot or rubric with the set of criteria like delivery, speech content, things like that that you can consider in your speech and can help you prepare and be more confident on the speech day.
Thank you, Claire. That was wonderful. And I hope you all, I hope this is a good starting point for anyone that's like working on their next speech or looking to give their first speech. So thank you, Claire.
Yes, thank you, Anjana. And I know all of you here are very, very young. I heard some of you are like 6-year-old or 9-year-old students, so young. So definitely inspiring to see all of you here, so eager to learn in your own public speaking journey. And so I would like to ask Anjana, what advice would you give someone who just started Toastmasters or is at the beginning of their public speaking journey?
That's a good question. Okay. So first, I think we need to a little bit redefine public speaking as an activity, and I'll explain. So public speaking is not necessarily a short-term activity. So it's not something which you're going to see like overnight success in, right? But it's something you need to invest in, put the work in, put the practice in to get better. And also, I truly believe that practice makes progress. So by practicing, practice a lot, get up there, whatever opportunities or experiences presents itself, like take it and keep practicing. So whether it's volunteering for a meeting role in your Gavel Club meeting, or going up and volunteering as a speaker in your Gavel Club meeting, or participating in a contest, I think those are all great ways to give yourself more exposure to public speaking. And it's something which, again, you need to continually practice at. So it's going to take its time, but with that practice. So if you're showing consistency in your practicing, right? Consistency in speaking, taking opportunities whenever it comes to speak, you're going to see an effect on your public speaking skills. So really, I truly believe that practice makes that progress. So I emphasize again, practice, practice, practice. Another huge thing about this is please keep your morale high. Okay, so especially when you're starting out in speaking, not every speech is going to go perfectly. And I'll say it for myself too. Not every speech ever goes perfectly, right? But you need to keep your morale high. You need to keep believing in yourself, okay? Because especially, it's not just public speaking. Whenever you're trying something out new for the first time, it's not going to be perfect, right? So, as cliche it is, never give up. Truly, please never give up. Keep working at it, keep trying at it, and I promise you're going to improve as an orator. Additionally, like I touched on, just really take advantage of all the experiences and opportunities, being part of, a Gavel Club presents so many wonderful experiences and opportunities. So please take advantage of that because they have great avenues for you to grow as an orator and a speaker. All right. And finally, I'll say it one more time. Please practice. That's the main way you're going to improve. All right. So, keep at it and believe in yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Anjana. I definitely agree. Practice is so, so important. And just like Anjana said, if you didn't win a contest or you think you did poorly 2 weeks ago, that doesn't mean you're going to do poorly today. There's a lot of improvement you can make in 2 weeks. And I've even made improvements to my speeches 1 hour before a contest, or even, let's say, 30 minutes before a contest. That can be changing your delivery or something like that. So yeah.
All right, Claire. So I know when even before the whole speaking process, you beautifully outlined, the speech writing process, but something which is a daunting task at times is finding a topic to speak on, right? So how can the youth here find topics to speak on and make a lasting impact with those topics?
Yes, thank you, Anjana. So first of all, when you're finding topics that you want to speak on, firstly, think about what do you enjoy speaking about? And this ties into relatability with your audience. So especially if it's for a speech contest, you want to consider who is your audience. So obviously you will have judges who are most likely adults. So are they parents? Are they adults? How do you want to relate to them? Maybe you want to include some things in your speeches or a topic that they can understand, they can relate to. Maybe they have kids. Maybe they understand your experiences. So definitely think about that when choosing a topic. And for speech contests specifically, this does not apply to everything, but I would suggest choosing a topic that is not purely informational. So what I mean by this is don't choose a topic that has too many technical terms or that you're spending the whole speech talking about a piece of information or explaining something for your audience. Because in this case, sometimes the audience might fall asleep or it's a little bit harder for them to relate to your speech on an emotional level. So try to think of topics that you can connect with the audience and your peers that is emotional, that they can understand from their own point of view. So that also ties in from your personal experiences. So consider what lessons you've learned. What are you worrying about? Maybe someone who has challenged your thinking. Moments when you yourself have felt emotional or just everyday experiences that have taught you something new. Consider those and then kind of see how they tie together. And if you can take away this one message or one tagline that you can repeat throughout your speech, and maybe then you can kind of see a topic forming. And you can always ask for advice, ask your parents or ask your friends or your coach or your mentor if they have any suggestions for you as well.
Thank you, Claire. I think you really prepped the youth here on, how to find their topic and, write their speech. So I really encourage all of you, go up there and speak. It'll be a really rewarding experience. And you are ready. Claire has prepped you.
Yes, thank you, Anjana. And for all of you here, you all probably have heard of or seen of something called a TED Talk. And Anjana herself, I'm not sure if she's given a TED Talk before, but she's such an inspirational speaker. I'm sure all of us would be so eager to listen into one if she ever gives one. And so my question is, if you could give a TED Talk tomorrow, what topic would you choose?
That's a great question. I mean, I really thought about this, okay? So if I were to give a TED Talk, it would be about the power of introverts. Okay, so there's a common misconception that I hear a lot that introverts aren't good public speakers. So I know there may be a lot of introverts here, including me. I am an introvert. So I think the goal of the talk would be that even if you're shy, if you're an introvert, public speaking can be this incredible platform, and that introverts can be equally gifted public speakers. So I think it's time to break that misconception and, redefine public speaking being something which introverts can, immerse themselves in. Thank you. All right, Claire. So I know you talked about the benefits of Gavel clubs for youth, but how do youth benefit from public speaking?
Thank you, Anjana. Okay, so public speaking is the one skill that I think all of you should learn to the best of your ability. If your dad or mom says, oh, you're not very, or you yourself say, oh, I'm not very good at baseball, but my parents want me to play baseball, maybe your parents will allow you to quit or move on and try another sport. But for public speaking, no matter how many times you fail, please try again. I encourage you to try again and give it your best shot, because throughout your entire journey, just like Anjana said, don't lose your morale. Just because you did poorly or you think you did poorly a few weeks ago doesn't mean you won't improve, or it doesn't mean that's just who you are as a communicator. Public speaking is absolutely a skill. It is not something that you are purely born with or that you just know about. It's something that you develop and learn about over time. And public speaking is so, so important. And you will be your future self will be so, so grateful to your younger self if you learn these skills from a young age, because it really teaches something that your school usually doesn't teach, which is how to express yourself clearly and confidently and connect to others in all sorts of settings. Especially for all of you here in the future, when you go on in the workforce and take on different jobs and careers, you're going to have to be using public speaking. You're going to talk to your boss, you're going to give presentations, depending on what job you take on, you're maybe even going to lead business plans. So all of those tie into public speaking, and that can lead to more opportunities and just make your own character, your own personality and self a such more vibrant and confident person, which can really open so many new doors and tell yourself so many more things about you that you didn't know before.
That's amazing. Thank you, Claire.
Okay, thank you so much. And then next is, I'm sure, because we've heard about Anjana's past amazing speeches, I'm sure all of us are thinking, Anjana, what is your next public speaking goal?
That's a great question. Okay, so I think the first goal on my mind is I would like to continue my advocacy efforts for, Gavel clubs, and I truly believe in the cause of empowering youth through public speaking. So whether it's doing educational presentations like this or finding other innovative ways, I truly believe in, the cause of Gavel clubs and how impactful public speaking can be for youth. So I would like to reach more youth and, spread that message of how amazing public speaking, confidence, and leadership skills can be for youth as well. And additionally, I would like to expand my advocacy efforts through Lead the Future Gavel Club, the club I co-founded locally. So I think right now I've really grown as an order myself, but I think my next goal in mind is to help other youth grow into the orators, into their own style of orators on both the local and international scale. Yeah. All right. Now, Claire, you won the Global Youth Championship of Public Speaking,
Anjana,
which
there is a question to you. How did you narrow down on the topic for your World Championship speech? How did you narrow down on the topic for your World Championship speech? Question to Anjana.
All right. I think that's a great question. Thank you, DTM Manju. So my topic for the World Champion speech was advocating against the violence against women. So going into the contest, I knew I wanted to pick a topic which can be impactful and create change, especially on a global platform, a topic which can go beyond borders, can be a universal message to the world. Also, given that I shared a very vulnerable and personal story, I didn't want to just stick with that vulnerability, but rather use that very vulnerable personal story as like a catalyst for advocacy on a broader scale. So I really took that into account as well. I think whenever I decided that I was gonna, enter the international speech contest, that specific topic really stood out to me because not only did I have a personal connection to it, but it has the power to, it's a very powerful message which can be universal for people across the world. And I think those two factors made it a top choice for me. And also me as a speaker and me as a person, I wanted to make sure that I didn't just sink down into moments of vulnerability, but rather I wanted to turn moments of vulnerability into something more powerful, something which can be impactful and something which can create change. So I think just that personal connection and the universal message of it made it a very powerful topic that I chose. Thank you.
Okay, there is a question from Amrita Valli. The question goes to Claire. What is the one quality a speaker must have to create an impact in this world? What is the one quality a speaker must have to create an impact in this world? Claire, your opinion about this?
Yes, thank you for the question. So that is a great question. I think there are definitely a lot of qualities that factor into yourself being a great public speaker and communicator. But I think one of the most important qualities is confidence and the belief in yourself. Because every very open or successful public speaker you see out there maybe didn't start from those very same confident roots. For example, they may have also been shy when they were at a younger age, but they have learned through their public speaking journey that confidence is very important. Because if you yourself think that your message is not important, or that it's not written well, or you think there's something wrong with your speech, the audience can tell. They can tell how you feel about your own speech, about your own self, and that can kind of make your audience less confident about you as a public speaker. So really, it comes with understanding yourself first and saying that I have this message that I want to share, and I'm confident in my message. No matter what fears or doubts I have, I will say this message confidently and with the best of my ability. And then your audience can see that, and they can see that you're so confident. They'll see your radiating energy. And from that, they will also view you as a confident public speaker and be much more likely to understand and appreciate your message. So that is one of the best qualities I think you can have as a public speaker.
Thank you, Claire. Now the next question from Imran Ahmad. This question goes to Anjana. What changed you the most on your journey to become a champion speaker? I think he may be asking what are the changes you felt after becoming the global champion. Maybe that is the question he wants to ask to Anjana.
Sure. I think not just after winning the global champion, but throughout the process, I really did improve as a speaker. So every time I would go and perform my speech, I would get various feedback and things to improve on. So through that process, I practiced my speech a lot, meaning that as a public speaker, I grew and I changed the way I did certain things through feedback and a lot of practice. So I think that's one way it changed. But if we're talking about after the winning global, I think what it did was it gave this incredible platform. So what Global did was it gave me kind of, I guess, more visibility and more opportunity to do things like this and, reach more youth. So from an advocacy standpoint, it really helped me reach more youth across the globe. But I think throughout the Global process, just getting a lot of feedback, practicing helped me really, really grow as a speaker. I mean, when I was practicing my speech, I was really focusing on the little details, going from like movements to hand motions and planning all of those things out. And from the speech writing standpoint, I had to, shift my mindset and make it more of, a global speech. So it just can't be, the message just can't be for, the US or stuff like that. So it's like a mindset shift as well, making you into this kind of, giving you this kind of global standpoint as well. So it helped me kind of shift my mindset, grow as a speaker. Like I learned so much, and just seeing other speeches as well. I mean, there's just so much to learn. So I really was excited that I got to hear the stories of other Gaveliers and learn a lot about what they are doing as well. So it was really a learning experience. It was a shift in mindset. And afterwards, it gave me a broader platform for public speaking advocacy as well.
Thank you, Anjana. I think we are coming to the close of the program. What is the last question you would like to ask to Claire, Anjana? If you want to ask what the last question you would like to ask to Claire?
Yes, this is actually a question from one of the Gaveliers here, but I'll just read it out to you, Claire. I really find it difficult to find actions and movements to do while doing a speech. So how would you, tackle that?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. So actions, movement, gestures, of course, are very, very important in public speaking. And one of the biggest suggestions I would like to give you is to watch successful speakers. So personally, myself, I've seen some of the Toastmasters international speech winners, and those have been very, very inspiring, and it helps me prepare for my own heads or tails speech. And I know there was one, it was called, I think, The Power of Words. There was another one, I think it was by Donna Jaya, but essentially all of those speakers are very, very talented. They've spent a long time preparing their public speaking skills. And if you watch them on a stage and then you think to yourself, how do I feel as an audience? When they do this hand movement, when they speak like this, in this tone, how do I feel? And then if you're like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing moment, I feel so connected to the speaker in this moment, then you can think this is something from that speaker that I can learn myself and incorporate into my own speeches. So that's one of my suggestions, is to learn from other successful speakers. And then my second suggestion is to record yourself. Because a lot of times what we think we're doing with our hands or our movements is not what is actually being perceived by the audience. It can be way off. So what I suggest is record yourself. Take out a phone or a laptop and record yourself, and then notice how you're moving across the room. Notice, are you doing too many hand gestures? Are they too random? Do you need to do more? Do they need to be bigger, more impactful? And if you record yourself and notice how you're improving and how you're changing, that can really help you be more intentional and confident with your own movements. So that would be my suggestions.
Thank you, Claire. Before we wrap up, I just have some concluding remarks, sir.
Yes,
It'll just
please
take
proceed.
1 second. So for public speaking, I just want to take this moment to say my thank yous, because I have grown into the order I am because of this wonderful support system. So firstly, I want to truly thank my family, especially thank my mom. She has been my public speaking coach since day one, since I was, whenever I got interested. So that's 3 years old. She has always been there for me. She has been a huge support. She has been my backbone, and she has been there at every time I spoke, every time I've been in contest. She's always been there. She's my biggest cheerleader, biggest supporter. And I am forever, forever grateful for her for being there. And she really shaped me into the order I am today. So I'm incredibly thankful for her. At my time at Cedar Park, I'm very, very thankful to Miss Diana. She is an incredible support, and she she was there for me at Cedar Park. I also want to huge thank you to Ms. Jill. She is my co-founder of Lead the Future Gavel Club. She's my mentor, role model, and friend. We would not have Lead the Future Gavel Club without Ms. Jill, so I'm incredibly, incredibly thankful for her. She's always there for me as a club counselor and as a mentor and role model, so I'm incredibly thankful to her. And I also want to thank Toastmaster Mr. Jim. He has been a huge supporter and cheerleader, and again, a role model. He has seen me give my first icebreaker, so he has been there since day one of my Gavel Club journey, so I'm incredibly thankful. And finally, I want to give a huge, huge thank you to DTM Shri Kumar Pai sir and DTM Mani sir, proving that support goes beyond borders, and I'm so, so grateful to have both of you. So I think a very important part of this public speaking journey is that it takes a village to form you into that speaker you are today. And I'm so grateful to have that support system. So huge thank you.
Thank you, Anjana, for your concluding words. What about Claire? Would you like to have any concluding words, Claire?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I would definitely love to thank my own club, Future Leaders Gavel Club, who I actually heard about from a friend who has now moved on and he's studying at Northwestern right now. But and the founders of the club have been so, so inspiring, and they have just been such motivating people. They're always so non-judgmental, and it's created such a welcoming community. And that's why I love Toastmasters so much. And I would like to thank my own club's advisor Sunny, and advisor David, and advisor Melissa for all of their support throughout this process, helping to plan and prepare for club contests and workshops and events. It really wouldn't have been possible without their support and their encouragement at each meeting. And of course, I would love to thank Dr. Pai for helping to host and invite me and Anjana for this workshop. Definitely, it was such an inspirational journey to share my own public speaking skills to all of the youth who are here today. And I encourage you all to continue pushing yourself in your public speaking journey because you all have such a great potential, and I'm definitely excited to see where you all will go. And lastly, I do want to especially thank my family, especially just like Anjana said, my mother. My mother has also been a very, very big supporter of my public speaking journey from day one. She has been there always supporting me and encouraging me that no matter what the result is, the important thing is that I've learned throughout the process and that I've challenged myself, because I used to be a very, very shy student, and public speaking has just opened so many new doors, taught me so many new things about who I am as a person. So thank you all for all your continued support, and I appreciate you all for joining us here tonight and listening to the interview.
Thank you, Claire. Manju, are you there? Manju,
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, just give some concluding words.
Yeah.
I really thank Claire and Anjana for accepting our invitation and for being with us. Thank you very much for a wonderful session. Manju, please, over to you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sri Kumar. And I'm also thoroughly delighted, not just by the public speaking prowess of these young champions, but also by their humble attitude, particularly their attitude of gratitude. I was touched when Gavelier Anjana thanked her mother and also all other elders who helped her, like Diana, the counselor, Toastmaster Jim, and so on and so forth. And also Claire to thanked her mother and all other elders. So I think what makes them champions is not just practice, it's not just their oratory skills, it's not just their public speaking skills, but it's also their mindset. Anjana did touch upon the mindset part. So maybe the attitude of being grounded, the attitude of gratitude, and the mindset of being grateful for who they have in their life, and also the ability to learn from the elders and other youngsters around them. The humble attitude is what makes them the champions. That is my conclusion. I just believe that how high you grow depends on how deep your roots are. I repeat, how high you grow depends on how deep your roots are. So grow with Gavel and glow with Gavel. So all of you, those who have not yet joined Gavel Club or Toastmasters Club, I urge you, I exhort you to reach out to Distinguished Toastmasters Sri Kumar Pai, or even reach out to any Toastmaster. They would help you get the contact of Distinguished Toastmaster Sri Kumar Pai, who in turn would be able to point you to the nearest Gavel Club or Toastmasters Club near to your home or the place of your study. So, wishing you all a great future, a glowing future. Grow with Gavel, glow with Gavel. With this, we now end this session with the two champions of public speaking of Global Youth Championship, Claire from 2025 and Anjana from 2024. An unforgettable evening indeed for those of us in Asia and maybe Europe, and for the rest of you from the North America, probably it's morning. I'm sure it will still be an unforgettable day and experience listening to the words that they imparted today, and also the advice that people give, especially what Claire said: practice, practice, practice. With this, I now end this session, and thank you one and all. All of you are champions because on a Sunday, instead of watching Netflix or watching TV or playing with the mobile games, you chose to join this meeting of champions. So pat yourself on the back because you too are a champion. Me too. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And we will be coming back with another topic shortly. Until then, goodbye and good luck.
Bye bye, everyone. See
Bye,
you soon.
everyone. Thank you. Once again, thank you all.